Hey everybody, it's Kimberly Eichelle from Talented Television, and I'm here in beautiful Las Vegas at 1500 Las Vegas Boulevard. That's right, Legends Restaurant. I have a treat for you today, but first, I need you to subscribe and press the notification button so you'll make sure you won't miss any of our great episodes. Are you ready? I don't know if y'all ready for today's guest. It's gonna be amazing. So come on inside, follow me. Everybody, and welcome to Talented Television with Kimberly Eichelle, and look who I have with me today. The man himself, Mr. Danny Boy
What's up,
Stewart.
y'all? What's up? Thank you for having me.
What's up?
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming.
No doubt, no doubt.
Yes, indeed.
Oh.
So the man,
yes.
the legend.
Wow.
We're going to talk about it all today. We're going to talk about it all.
Okay.
So first of all, I want to say that we're at Danny Boy's Restaurant.
Yes.
Here, 1500 South Las Vegas Boulevard, where he got the fire wings, y'all.
Y'all come get some of these wings.
Yes, please come get some of these wings.
Yes.
When I tell you they're the truth, they're the truth. Yes.
Thank you.
So Danny Boy, I want to go back because I met you. Actually, before I met you, I got to see you singing on a video. So you were kind of vibing here in the restaurant one day, and I'm like, wow, who is that? You know? And so my brother was kind of sharing with me, that's Danny Boy. And so he reminded me of who you were. And for those of you who may not know who Danny Boy is, this is the voice behind I Ain't Mad at You with Tupac.
Yes.
So you have a story to tell, and I kind of want to go on that journey with you today.
Please do.
So the viewers out there will know just who you are.
Okay.
For those that don't know, I know it's a million that know who this man is. But for those that don't, we want to definitely tell the story, okay?
Okay, I'm good.
So I read your book.
Okay.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you so much.
I think it's so awesome. Can I hear you sing something?
Sure.
Yes.
For all we know, we may never meet again, but before you go, make this moment. Can you make it sweet again? We won't say good night until the last minute. I'll hold out my hand, and you know my heart will be in it for all we know.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you.
I love you, Danny Boy.
I love you too. Thank you. Thank you, my
Thank
sister.
you.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yes,
For sharing my story
you.
and telling it. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So much.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
I had to let you all hear his amazing voice. And now let's rewind so you can hear his story.
So let's go back to the beginning.
Yes.
Okay, the beginning and how you got your name. Let's talk about that a little bit.
So I had a brother that was born the same year, the year before me, October the 31st, the same day. And he passed away several weeks after being born. Rest in peace, Gary. And then my mother was at the same party in Chicago at my goddad's club.
She wasn't gonna miss that party.
She wasn't gonna miss that party. Same costume party, I heard. and they were there at that party, and she went into labor.
Wow.
And on the way there, one of my mom's favorite songs played, and that was a song by a rendition of a song called "Oh Danny Boy,"
Okay.
by Nat King Cole.
Wow.
And my mother just she named me after that, and it was hard in the beginning.
Yeah, yes, indeed. So, Danny Boy. Now, I know I listened to the version by Jackie Wilson.
Jackie
as well.
Wilson, yeah, that's
Jackie
what
Wilson.
I'm talking about. Nat King Cole.
Okay,
Jackie Wilson.
okay.
Wake up, Danny.
That's all right. I was gonna say.
Wait a minute, let me erase that. Jackie Wilson, everybody.
Yes.
Nat King Cole is under my mind, another legend.
Yes,
But,
indeed.
Jackie Wilson.
Yes.
Lord help me.
So I listened to that version.
Yes.
And when I listened to it, I had never heard it before. I listened to it because I saw it in the book.
Oh, wow.
And so when I did, I'm like, this song is amazing.
Wow.
Amazing.
It is.
The runs, the riffs, everything,
It's so
every
touching.
note that he put on that song was amazing.
Yes.
And so here comes Danny Boy Stewart,
Yes.
who has some of the same pipes.
Oh,
you know
wow.
what I'm saying? I mean,
Thank
so
you.
I feel like even though it may have been a rough start with the name, that it's the name for you.
It is. I really like, I grew, first off, it took a check. Once I seen the boy on a check, but in grade school, when I say it was really hard, having a middle name as boy.
Right.
I'm the only person in the school. Ain't nobody else named boy or girl.
Yes.
And so I was teased a lot about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was kind of rough in the beginning, but I guess my mother kind of knew what she's seen. When they say your mama know you. You know what I mean? I really appreciate it because, as you said, the song is such a beautiful song.
Yeah.
And it really takes for you to listen to the lyrics. It's a song about love and having somebody and losing that somebody.
Yes,
and the
indeed.
feelings changing. So I think it definitely fit.
Yes, it does.
Rest in peace to my mama and my daddy.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. You come from a talented family,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So I was super surprised. I love the Thompson Community Choir.
What you know about the Tommies?
One of my favorite choirs growing up. My favorite. And so when I saw It's Gonna Rain in there,
Yes.
and I saw that was one of your relatives,
That is
your
my
auntie.
yes.
I was blown away. I'm
wow.
like, oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
So tell me about growing up in Chicago, and then we're gonna move forward because you did a lot of traveling. You did a lot of traveling.
Well, my mother, she had 12 siblings.
Okay.
And so I come from a large family.
Wow.
And cousins. I know that when when my grandfather passed, or maybe when my grandmother passed, it was about 160 something grandkids. So we come from a large family. But my mother, before my mother had, she was pregnant with me. She had several strokes, and she lost her voice. So she sang at one point and said poetry. I never had really the opportunity to hear her. She had a speech impediment.
Okay.
About the time I was born, but her sisters, and I got a lot of cousins, her cousins, first cousins, all of them sang. So I just remember growing up, being a church boy, sitting on the porch, getting involved every time they get to rehearse and getting to learn all of the old school songs.
Yes.
And my auntie, I was just so proud to have an aunt that was with the Tommies because they always played the record on the radio. And I had never been out of town, but everywhere I went, I was like, you ever heard this stuff, my auntie?
Right.
You know what I mean? And every Sunday morning I waited. You know what I mean? I waited to hear that song, and not only did I wait for that, watching my aunt sing in different churches and at different funerals and weddings and things is kind of where I got, a lot of my stage training, so to say.
Yes.
A lot of stage training and a lot of confidence, I guess. She gave me that because I would watch her and she would tear a church completely apart. If she say they came here to die, go ahead and kill them. So.
Okay. Love that. And speaking of your mom, I want to go back to her a little bit as well, because I know you really loved your mom. It came through, in that book. Yes. And one thing that I really enjoyed hearing you say is that your mom taught you to sing.
Yes.
Even though she had that impediment.
Yes.
She still was able to look at you, and y'all had a bond and a connection.
Yes.
So that was a beautiful thing. Tell me a little about that.
Out of all 7 of my sisters and brothers, I was the baby. I'm the youngest, and so I'm the last one at home.
Wow.
And I remember speaking for my mother more than school. I remember, going to different doctor appointments and social services and things like that with her because I was basically her interpreter.
Right.
Things that sound weird to everybody else. You know what I mean? God gave me the ability to hear it just as clear. I mean, I can remember being 7 years old and her sisters and them would call us in front of, the cousins would call us in front and say, hey, what Dorothy say? And I said, well, what you say? And she'd say it right to me and I said, she said such a da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Wow.
So God had given me that ability to understand my mother. You know what I mean? And I don't care what she said. It may have sounded like a muttering to you. I don't care. I could understand it. And when I began to sing, I just remember my mother always telling me, you know, if I was to do something, she'd just say, that's all she do, take it down.
Go low.
Go low. Go low and go high.
Wow.
And how did I know I was doing it right in church? She was the nurse's aide. She was the pastor's nurse's aide. And she would just cry as I sang.
Wow.
You know what I mean? As if this was the first time her ever hearing it.
Exactly.
As if
like,
she didn't hear none of the
boy.
practicing. You know what I mean? She treated me, as you said, as such, her daddy boy. And I think that she was elated and felt gifted that she lost her voice, but God I had given her me. This is how I keep Dorothy living.
Yes,
every time I open my mouth, it's like my mother is ministering to me, and I'm so grateful for that.
Beautiful. I saw where you, before you even became a teenager or just about teenage years, you had performed at over like 200 engagements.
Yes.
So talk about that a little bit, and then tell me, do you still get nervous?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
I had to answer that first. I'm nervous right now. I'm straight grabbing the chair. You know, before I became a teenager, my first management team, my booking agents, was my grandmother.
Wow.
You know, the mother of the church, Mother Elsie Stamps, rest in peace.
Awesome.
My grandmother. And why do I call her my first booking agent? Because she's the one that had me singing at all of the churches in Chicago, all around the west side and the south side. And anytime my aunt couldn't make it to a service, once they found out that I can handle it a little bit, they was like, okay, so Danny gonna sing at Mary's funeral.
Okay.
so
Danny got it at the funeral.
So I was a funeral guy. You know, and then they start trusting me to sing at weddings a little bit. Okay. And the dynamics was so different because I got the church side from my mother and my grandmother. But from my daddy, you know, during the same side, I was getting all of the real stuff. Like you know, my daddy, he raised all of my other sisters and brothers and myself in a club, in a bar. Wow. Like, I remember being in the bar at 5 years old.
Oh my
watching
goodness.
them play dominoes and sitting at the bar eating potato chips and watching TV or playing the jukebox.
Right.
So that's how I got acclimated to artists like Marvin Gaye and Stevie Wonder and all those people. You know what I mean? Because he'd give me a handful of quarters and I just play the jukebox while I sit with my daddy. So I sat in church with mama. And I sat at the Continental Lounge with my daddy. So I got so many things, you know what I mean, by doing that, and so many avenues. I was able to sing some Patti LaBelle and stuff like that outside of Jesus is your own, you know, outside of those things. so
you grew a little bit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, vocally and things like that.
Before you know it, I just started doing so many shows, and I guess had already been on tour by the time I was 13 around the city of Chicago.
So let's fast forward a little bit. You were blowing up around Chicago, right?
Yes.
Meeting different people.
Yes.
Had a new promoter or agent, right?
Yeah,
and you I read that thing.
Yes.
And you ended up going to LA, right?
Yes.
Alrighty. So talk about that first touchdown.
So I was with an independent company, Randolph Entertainment. My cousins from Crucial Conflict, they were a rap group, and they the ones that got me more on the I want to do R&B side. Okay. You know what I mean? They got me in the studio at first. I cut a demo, had an opportunity to cut a demo, and we started shopping a deal with Warner Brothers, Scotty Brothers, and several other labels. Okay. And the guy who set the deal up had a deal going with Interscope already. Wow. So we stopped by Interscope first, 10900 Wilshire Boulevard. We stopped by there first. And this big old dude came in the door.
Yeah.
I mean, this dude was like larger than life because I was, you know, when you're small and you young, everything is this big. That's a big house. And
right?
That's actually a 2-bedroom.
That's a big car.
Yeah, that's a big car. So, and this guy came in, you know, with these big earrings in his ear, big cigar. Yeah. And he told him he was taking me over to do a meeting at Warner Brothers.
Okay.
And he said, bust some. You know what I mean? I guess he thought I'd rap.
Right.
So I started singing, and he looked at me. He was like, "Hey, hold up!" And he went out the room, and he got this smaller white guy. At that time, I thought he was white, and it was actually Suge Knight and Jimmy Iovine of Interscope Records.
Wow.
And I had an opportunity to sing for him, and immediately they made like an offer.
Immediately. Okay.
And
so you worked that craft all those years in Chicago.
All them groups.
So when somebody finally said sing something on the spot, you were able to do it. So that's important for those of you that are watching as well. If you have a talent, be prepared because you never know when that chance is coming. Right.
And that's one of the things that I even learned with singers. I can't stand meeting a singer and you say sing something, and they be like, that's not to me. No, I gotta.
Danny boy, that's me. Don't talk about me.
I mean, you know, we all have our times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When we don't feel like singing. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? For me, singing is a ministry.
Yes, it is.
And I don't want to deny anyone with what God has gifted me.
Yeah.
With at any time.
That's good.
Especially since knowing, you know, I try to listen to what people say. You know what I mean? Because you could sing all day and not even realize what you carry.
Yeah.
You could sing all day and not even realize the words that you sing.
Absolutely.
But when it gets when it's delivered to the next person and they receive it and they pick it up, you now have a responsibility of keeping that lifted, of keeping that banner up. You know what I mean? So when somebody say sing, it's like sometimes my head can be hurting. And I'll sing, and God will send me a song that'll straighten me out, that'll straighten my headache out. Okay. Just because I understand that for me, this is ministry. I don't care if it's a love song. I don't care if it's a rap song. I don't care if it's, you know, a song that church people aren't used to hearing. Yeah. I thank God for putting me in the, you know, it's like graduation. I thank him for sending me to kindergarten. Yeah. Then I thank him for putting me in middle school. And then lifting me to 8th grade and graduating and putting me on. And I think that's what we have to be when it comes to our spirituality as well.
Yeah. Definitely. So you said something in there that I kind of grasped. You said you have to know what you carry. Yeah. So you know what you carry.
Yeah, it took a long time.
Yeah.
Because I prayed for a lot of other things. You know, my daddy was a carpenter, so I know how to put tile down. I could put just anything to do with remodeling a house. I know how to do it. I know how to paint. I know how to, you know, I was a mortician at one point. Yes. So there's some things that I've learned along the way. And then I would say, even when music hurt me so bad, you know what I mean? I started a construction company. Yeah. And I was running away from what God had gifted me with instead of feeding the gift. And it took a long time to know that, you know, it's almost like going to your parent on Christmas Day and saying, you know, yeah, thank you for that gift. You could have this one back. Yeah. I need something else because this not working for me right now. Right. And it took a long time to get past that.
And so you had to go back to that gift.
Go back to that gift. And God will remind you and take you through some trials, and not take you through some trials, allow you to go through some trials. You will be tried. Yeah. And I just thank God for the trial in the midst of it, because that's what keeps me singing.
Yeah. Go back to that day, you know, you're that young man at Interscope Records.
Interscope Records. Okay. With these crazy people.
Yes.
Suge Knight was one of the craziest people in the music industry.
Let's talk about it.
So I seen him there, and he there, and he say, I'm gonna give 250,000.
Wow.
And the guy hit him on the leg because he didn't want him to really make a offer like that out loud. You know what I mean? He's like, he ain't got to go to nobody. This little nigga can come to death row.
He got you.
You know? And at that time, it was the Motown of the 90s. Yeah. There weren't any other label that was as large or black owned, black driven, black ran, like Death Row Records. And being there was amazing. You know what I mean? It's not what everybody else made it, or the media, or, you know what I mean? Some of the artists even kind of, you know, to me, said a lot of things that I just didn't see. All of us have our own opinions of the journey, but just to be there around a guy that I knew came from the hood and had accomplished so much.
Yeah.
And he was feeding so much into people that I hadn't had a record out, but I was driving around like I had a record out, and I was living like I had a record out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
lived some fun times.
Coming from the west side of Chicago when food stamps was in the book.
Yeah,
and my mama gave me the $7 book. You hear me? That was my, I knew that when them books come, I get the one with the 5 and the 2 singles in it.
Yeah.
Coming from that, and now I'm with someone that's investing in me, that believe in me,
right.
and maybe not giving me what I'm supposed to have, but giving me what's his.
Okay.
Because no matter what, before I even opened my mouth, the money that Suge started with, it was his money.
Yeah.
It was the money that he hadn't generated. He became my guardian.
Yeah.
My mother got sick in the hospital. She had been going through open heart surgeries, and at this time she had a triple bypass, and she came out, had a couple complications afterwards, and my grandmother would always say, "Stay and work.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Your mama gonna be all right." And I talk to my mother, and we cry all the time when we get on the phone. You don't know nothing, nobody. You know, we just cry when we talk to each other. And this time my grandmother said, that time she said, you know, stay there. Your mama gonna be all right. Just stay there and work.
Yeah.
And just check on her. And I called my mother. I called her several days after I had came back in the country or something. And she thanked me for these flowers. She was just thanking me for these flowers, and I was like,
right.
"You welcome."
I
was like, I thought she was delusional.
Right.
My mama losing it. But okay, mama, you very welcome.
Right.
Come to find out later on that Suge had spoke to my mother.
Wow.
And sent her a room full of flowers, a room full of roses.
Yeah.
And he assured her that he'll take care of me.
Yeah.
That's what he said. He said, "I told your mother I'm gonna take care of you and look out for you." And being in Los Angeles, you have to have a guardian with you. And my daughter mother was old enough to be my guardian. I just don't think that would have been
not
right.
Look.
Didn't I tell you to come in the house? So I didn't. So I think Suge was the best candidate. He had the money to be daddy, because when he said go in, I was like, okay, I'm on my way in right now.
I'm on my way.
I was his son, and he treated me as such.
Let's talk about that baby mom a little bit.
All right, let's do it.
Because
hey, Trina.
Hi, Trina.
Hey, Trina.
Oh, okay.
That's my first baby mom. I love you, girl.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
So I know I don't want to give the book away. Y'all have to read this book.
Please.
Because when I tell you that I read 80% of the book the first night.
Oh, wow.
Seriously, I was almost done.
Wow.
I don't want to give too much away.
Okay.
But Trina didn't know how old you were.
No, I lied. I just stopped lying too about that kind of stuff. I just stopped lying. I pray for me, but I lied a little bit.
Yeah, so you say she was old enough to be the guardian at that time.
Yeah, she was, she was a little older than I was, and I lied and told her that I was a little older.
One thing that I like about you is you do things afraid. Does that make sense?
No, tell me.
Okay.
That's the first time I heard that. I want to hear that.
I believe you do things afraid. And I say that because when you were shooting your video, now, the way that I read the book, I'm going to talk about it. The way that I read it, I grew up in the church, so I didn't get a lot of the R&B world as I was growing up.
Okay.
So when I saw you shot Slip and Slide, I went to YouTube and I looked it up. I'm like, this man telling the truth. I'm looking at all this stuff. It's right on YouTube. So that's how I journeyed through your book. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So you were afraid to get out there and walk on water.
And can't swim.
But you did it.
Yes.
So that's what I mean by you've taken some chances, you know what I'm saying? Afraid, but knowing that this is what I got to do.
Yes.
If I want to get to the next level. You know?
No doubt.
So that's so it's a great thing to me, because a lot of times when we're talented, like I said, I'm one of those people, okay, I'm going to sing something. I'm bashful at times, but I know what God has placed on the inside of me. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
So we got to do things afraid sometimes.
I believe that.
So I love that about you.
I got it.
I love that about you, right? So
Yes.
talk about shooting your first video and just growing in death row. I know that everything during that time may have not been peaches and cream, we'll put it that way. But tell me about some of the fun things you did, something that you may have never thought that you would do coming up, you know?
You know, my first record that I was released on, the first single was Come When I Call on the Murder Was a Case soundtrack. And that was a big thing because Snoop Dogg had been charged with murder. In 95 or 94, somewhere around that time. And they made a soundtrack and a movie, almost like a mini movie out of it. And I just got there just in time to put a song on there, Come When I Call, produced and written produced by DJ Quick, written by myself and DJ Quick. And to just have the opportunity to have a record out, like when it was on wax, like, you know what I'm saying? I sent my mother that wax. That was incredible. And my first video was Slip and Slide. Devontae Swing of Jodeci wrote and produced it, him and Reggie. And Genuine sang the backgrounds on it before anybody even knew.
I love Genuine. Tell him I said hi. Look, tell him I said hi.
You better stop playing out here. Genuine sang the backgrounds on there, and we did that video in Cabo, St. Lucas. You know,
beautiful.
Suge, one thing I appreciate every time Suge did say something to me, he's seen big things for me, even though I think he was afraid to act on those big things because he had this whole hip hop gangster thing. You know what I mean? So it was kind of hard to step outside the box and really promote R&B, what I really love, because that's what Suge really liked. When we rode around, we listened to old school music, the Stylistics, and the Ohio Players, and those are the artists that we listen to. And he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this video, and you're gonna walk on water." I'm like, "Okay, here you go. He's nuts."
Right.
And just before you knew it, just before you knew it, we were in Cabo, St. Lucas.
Wow.
And he had these scuba divers and this plexiglass in the middle of the ocean. I'm like, "Oh, this man nuts!" And I was actually walking on water, and we flew about 120, 130 something people to Mexico in between models and all of the death row artists. And I think it's the only R&B video that Tupac Shakur ever been in too. By the way.
There you go. And it was beautiful because I know you said you got on the, what is it called? Goes down, submarine.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Right?
Oh, my God.
Yes.
Then they put us in this submarine. So they like, "Yeah, you're going to be kissing this girl on there." So my baby mama, Trina, was there. She was mad as hello.
Trina like,
The kisses look too real. So we kissing, and they like, "Yeah, so y'all going to do this, and we going to go underwater." They took me and put me on a real live submarine.
Wow.
And we were so far on, like, below. I know where swimmers can go for sure.
Yes.
And I seen stuff that I see it on TV now, like but the different fish and things like that you just never see. And it was just an amazing moment and at that time videos wasn't cheap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like now you can make a video $2,000 of $6,000. You got a good video.
And
you know,
put it on YouTube.
And you own.
Right.
This video cost about $750,000 just the video alone.
Oh my goodness.
You know what I mean? Because I mean, you know, people on private planes and you know what I mean? We had all this tech work done and leaving there, my plane catch on fire in there.
Subscribe for notification of part 2 of Talented Television's Life and Death Row with Danny Boy Stewart. We're going deeper. Thanks for watching.